Good morning, everyone. If you were watching my short, I alluded to how much I loved the Cabaret Club Grand Prix. What I did not allude to much, though, is just the best way to maximize it. I did a prior video of this. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way I wanted. I wasn't too happy with the audio settings, especially with how I sounded in the short. I kept the same settings. I was like, I can do better. Part of this is for me having to earn your time and ears as well. So we're going to go do a deep dive into the Cabaret Club. For me to do that, though, I have to explain a couple things first. One, the skills I went for. I did up a short for what skills I would choose initially, and I plan to edit it and go through it. But long story short, I wanted to make sure I had Club Hustler, and then because I wanted Club Hustler for the amount of money you can get for it. With Club Hustler level 2, you get 40% of the income from the... So I'm going to assume it works on 4 tiers. With no points, you get 10% of the income. With level 1, you get 20. Level 2, you get 40. And then with level 3, you get 60. On top of that, because I plan to farm this mode for money so that I can get more experience, that's how I got the experience above. I also went with Hostess for the mostest. I've gone through I've gone through all of the Cabaret Club story, so there's going to be spoilers on certain individuals. If you don't want to see that, I apologize. But I'm also leaving their sub-stories out so that you as a viewer can experience them yourselves. That being said, there is 2 people I need to talk about. And one is a sub-story, Hostess. You get more through the sub-stories, but this is probably the most important one. Her name is Suenega. She is on the south end of Kamorocho on Nakimichi Street, I want to say. She is an elderly lady wearing a salmon-colored overcoat with glasses. Once you finish her entire sub-story, you'll wind up seeing her again in front of Porshine, where she will then join you. She is very important. I cannot stress how important she is because for the overall strategy, just because of the skills she gets at level 30. The other person that I want to bring to attention is Marilyn II. You get her through just scouting. She is a bronze hostess, but do not overlook her, because once again, much like Suenega, she gains access to this extremely powerful skill that can reap you money in the Millionaire League. Yes, this will take time. I spent 4 hours preparing for this, but I chose to come here and do it this way. So first things first, you're going to notice on tonight's shift, I have quite the number of individuals. I'm going to take Aika out, and I'm going to bring in Marilyn II. And then I'm going to kick out Shoko. And I'm going to bring in Suenega, right? And we're going to go over this briefly for the skills. Escorted is the king skill that we're looking for. When you have it unlocked, your girl comes in with a guest. And I feel it is the highest tier level of guest that you have access to for the league. So in this case, they will come in with a tycoon. And it will be as if they were requested, so it will be an ecstatic face. Then we have the relaxed trait. That trait will be what gives you access to... When they're on the bench, they'll basically heal more. There is a different version of this that is blue or negative traits. That trait is called stressed. So when they're on the bench, they won't recover as much, even though they still will recover. Spoiled? I can't remember what that one does, unfortunately, off the top of my head. I think they react better to gifts and stuff like that. Serene is... There are events where they'll call you to the table saying, I need help. Serene is more of the positive ones. So that'll always... When they call you over, it's more likely to happen. Now that I think about it, I think Spoiled removes the aspect of negative events. So on the opposite of Serene, there is something called Feisty, which triggers more trouble events. So when the customer isn't satisfied with the service you're giving them, right? And then on top of that, you know, once we have our 6 girls, so in this case we have Yuki, Koyuki, Marilyn II, Suenega, Yua, and Kiara, they all come with the escorted trait. So as a result of this, when we start the match on the Millionaire League, we'll actually start with the ability to have more people being served. Now, this means we also get more of the sunshine ability. We also get more of the benefits because people will be in overtime mode because of it, right? On top of that, because the customers come in pre-satisfied, we also have a chance for them to be extended as well. So it makes it incredibly easy to level up under-leveled hostesses, especially if you want to have a second shift cover. I don't have enough hostesses yet, but it's something that we're going to try to do, right? So let's take a look here and start the event. All the girls are quite happy to see me, and I'm happy to see them. Right? The hostess's trade is basically part of the water business inside of Japan. It's very looked down upon, but I have a very liberal view of how this trade goes. There's nothing wrong with if you don't agree with it, and that's fine. But this is still one of the oldest levels of work in existence. So just take a look though. Remember, we get experience based on the amount of money we have, and we're getting 30,000 a pump, right? So, and this is going towards our meter in the top left-hand corner, which is important because what'll happen is as that fills up, we can now knock people. When we do an extension, people will pay more money out the nose. But if we go through this, or if we use it now, it'll knock people into that mode. But if we do an extension, we still have a chance to knock them into that mode based on their mood, right? So it's very good for when we have under-leveled hostesses, so that we can trigger it all, and they'll all just be like, yeah, okay, not a problem. Right? We have more help that needs. This is for towels. So they have various hand signals. The twisting of hands is towels. The cupping of hands is the ashtray. The downward M that they do with their hand is for ice. The letter L is for the guest glass. And the letter C is for the lady glass. I might have missed one, and I apologize. By all means, yell at me in the comments down below. Right? I just want to, like I said, I'm going to show this off quickly because I feel this method is often overlooked. Now they've all come off. No extension, and that's fine. You've done your work, right? But we still have 5 other chances. So now he's going to pay out the nose. What are you going to pay? Right? So we get an additional 20,000 for them accepting. That's huge. So that gives us a chance of what? 20 times 6, 120,000? At 40%, that means we get a 40,000 bonus if they all were to extend. Right? They all didn't extend, and that's fine. But now as a result of this, right? Look at how much they're paying out the nose before. They're now at double almost of what it was beforehand. You're a tycoon, and that's fine. So if I really wanted to, I would have Yuki deal with this gentleman. But I'm going to have Kana do it instead for experience reasons. I need to have one of the girls ready to go on shift B. So, and I'm not going to use my power-up now. But if these were all blank, if I were to use that power-up, all the things would go into party mode essentially, or overtime mode, which is where they're just throwing the money around. Unfortunately, I can't extend it after that. So that's a great way for us to get lower level girls brought up to snuff. Your bronzes have no right being in this section, but I'm gonna push my luck because it's how I am. Right? And now, when they're overly satisfied, if you give them an extensive gift, they'll get more friends. Same thing with the send-off, they'll bring in more people. Giving the girl a reward or praising them, that will increase their stamina. Both of these don't matter, but if we were to praise, it's probably the better idea. Whenever you're doing the championship matches, I always recommend praising because it restores their stamina and it doesn't cost you money. The gifts do come out of your end of night profits. But once again, this is just a regular mode. It doesn't matter for us. So we're just gonna mash our way through it. Right? Once again, I apologize. I have to stress this enough. I thank everyone for their patience. I have to treat you all better by providing you with better sounding content, more engaging content. I have to earn your trust. I was phoning it in for the longest time. I say that, but in actuality, I wasn't happy with how my mic sounded. So I was trying to find something that satisfied me. I was trying to find my niche and my consistency. For me, that is Yakuza content, right? I love this series very much so, but I can't really represent it the way I want to if I'm sounding monotone, which I don't want to make an excuse for. My previous mic settings were forcing me to do that though, right? How are we supposed to grow? How are we supposed to hone our craft if we're stuck that way? So everyone that's stuck through me for this, stuck with me through all that, I appreciate it. I'm hoping this is the end of the dark ages, so to speak, for that. But once again, I can't make any promises, and I know you're all trying your best too, right? It's not like you're all like, hoop that guy, he doesn't matter, and anything like that. I strongly I strongly believe that no one is that malicious. So, but I'm going to show you the power of a level 3 thing now. So, bottom right hand corner, you'll see that Sakura's there. They're asking for Koyuki. Well, Koyuki's busy. I can bring her over there. I'm not going to. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send her over there. Once she has engaged a bit of time has ticked, I'm going to engage this mode. I don't know when the sweet spot is, but I assume it's when the clock starts moving. But now, hit R1, we enter fever mode. So I guess that's what the overtime mode is, right? Make it rain! God, I love this music. And I love this mode. Right? And now, even Sakura, who is a terrible hostess by this metric, by this point in the game, she's now all of a sudden raking in cash. So what's going to happen now is she's going to gain a ton of experience. Yeah, you could have a gift. It doesn't matter. Right? There's one other aspect to this that's going to happen, especially because we have so many fans, and most likely because we had such a great night. There's going to be an oil baron. And so the way the oil baron works is that when he shows up, I would recommend, it's basically going to be like, you have to mash this button. That's the goal. So, sorry. Who are we sending? We're going to send out Yuki. But the goal is to mash square when he arrives. We want to max out his meter. We want to make him happier. Unfortunately, it also relies on your stats. So if our party stat was really low and it relied on that, we most likely would not be able to fill that meter. But if you do fill that meter, you get a very nice surprise under the special tab. All right, oil baron here. Let's smash the square button now. And he wants a love, which is our strongest stat. We will definitely clear this out, thankfully. Or shine? I think I just found the thumbnail too. Right? So we should get about 4 million yen. No, 60%. So we should get over half. So we should get about 8 million yen. We're at 47 million now. Right? We get a ton of experience as well. Koyuki is finally maxed. That's great for us. And 47 million. We got about 8 million yen for 3 minutes worth of work. Just, that's fairly simple. And with this money, we can actually spend it elsewhere. I will show that in the future in another guide. Once again, thank you everyone for joining me. My name has been Duke Rave. Tell me down below if there's anything else you'd like me to cover. I appreciate everyone that that got to this point of the video. And once again, I still have to earn your trust. So thank you for being patient with me. Bye-bye for now. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!